How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a fantastic day. This is episode 4 of the Info Junkies podcast.
Episode 4.
I am your host, Steve, my co-host, Quan.
What's up? What's up?
We have a great show lined up for you guys today. You know the drill. We talk politics, sports, gaming, entertainment, so much more. If you want us to talk about a specific topic, leave a comment down below to have your topic featured in the next episode. So, I was hanging with my co-host, or talking to my co-host yesterday, and he informed me of something that occurred. A particular celebrity who it has been inserted in the whole take a knee movement. Quan, you want to break it down?
Well, it was Ray Lewis. He was talking to, he was on FS1. Chris Carter has a show called First Things First. And he was featured on this particular episode. And it was just kind of funny because Ray Lewis has always been an advocate against the protests,
right,
against all this type of stuff that's going on with the NFL right now. But yet he was found with the Ravens players on the field, locking arms with the Ravens players.
Right.
And taking a part of this protest that's been going around the league for a few weeks now. Everybody's giving him flack for the simple fact that he was against this, preaching against this for weeks.
Right.
But yet he's taking part of it. So everybody's calling him a hypocrite. Everybody's calling him a coon, which, for taking part of Donald Trump and, doing all that stuff. So it's pretty much looking... If you're a PR agent for this dude, I mean, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because he's literally going against everything that he preached.
Well, I mean, not only has he critiqued the whole movement, not only did he say that there should be no politics in sports, he also prevented Kaepernick from getting a job with...
But he was helping him at first. He
granted.
He's the one that leaked it out. Hey, the Ravens might potentially sign Kaepernick.
Right. And then Kaepernick's girlfriend made that comment about, NFL owners being slave masters or whatever.
It was on Twitter, I think.
Yeah, and then, that killed that. But it's like, you can't have it both ways. You can't want to be against the protests and say, you're Mr. America and all that kind of stuff, and then turn around and say, well, I got caught up in the moment and I'm going to take a knee,
And this is the thing that kind of really set me off. He said that he was praising God. That's why he got on 2 knees. When originally he was on 1 knee.
Right.
Then after a certain amount of time, he switched to 2 knees.
Right.
So something changed. Something clicked in his mind for him to switch from 1 knee to 2.
Well, I mean, what got
but don't use God as an excuse
to
say that you was praising God, because you wasn't. You realized that you messed up. Mm-hmm. That's why you switched to 2 knees.
Right. What got me was when he was talking to Chris Carter. Chris Carter was like, look, man, I was at the Philly game. And, he was there for, I forget what the reason he was there. And he said he knew when the anthem was playing. He's like, yeah, he was conflicted in himself.
Right.
But he knew, look, this isn't about me. So he made his way out. I mean, he dipped, gone. And it's like...
He made a conscious decision. That's
exactly
what he said. He made a conscious decision to leave.
Exactly.
He didn't want to be a part of
because he knew the publicity of him taking that knee would affect... it's going to affect the protest. It's going to affect the whole situation. Exactly. So why insert yourself into it? So, Ray Lewis, I tell you what I think happened. I think what happened was Ray got caught up in the whole, the whole moment. He's already been attacked because he went to meet with Donald Trump after Donald Trump won the election. How dare you meet with the president? Ooh.
That's why everybody's calling you a coon?
Right, everybody's calling him a coon, questioning his blackness. And then he comes out so strongly, on the Kaepernick thing, and then comes out against politics and sports. And then you come in and take, but what I think he got caught up in the moment and took that knee and then realized, oh my God, this looks bad.
That's what I'm saying. He messed up.
So then he switched to 2 knees.
Switched to 2 knees.
And now he's trying to lean on, I was praying, I was trying to be an example in the midst of the chaos. Well, you didn't have to be in the chaos. You inserted yourself in the chaos.
Then he makes an excuse. He says, I was doing a coin toss, so I was kind of caught in the moment. No. It's a certain amount of time that it takes to get the whole anthem, get the flag across the field. Set up. Yeah, that takes a certain amount of time. You could have looked at that. You're Ray Lewis. You've been in the league for 15 plus years. You know the deal. You could have easily said, okay, they're about to do the anthem. Let me go ahead and dip out. I don't want to be a part of the optics. I don't want to be a part of this at all. But yet, when it was time to do the anthem, you saw him taking part of it.
Right.
And then during the video, when he was with Chris Carter, he said that he hates when people say he took part of it. You did.
You were there. You were in the midst of it. I mean,
there's a big screenshot of you locking on with the other Raven players all over the internet. You are taking part of it, regardless of how you want to twist it and spin it. You try to make it your own type of way.
Trying to put it on God and
You're a part of this whole protest thing. Right. You're officially part of it now. You cannot deny that.
And the thing, once again, like you said, the thing about it is, 10 years from now, however long it's going to be, when you look at that picture of him with the players, they're not going to see, oh, I was just praying. They're not going to see, whatever it is you're trying to spin the whole thing to being. What people are going to see is he's taking a knee with everybody else. You can be on 2 knees, you can be on all 4s, you can lay out prostrate. I don't care. I mean, you're still a part of the whole thing. Now, granted, him taking the 2 knees is nowhere near as disrespectful as Sean McCoy and Odell Beckham doing their little stretch routines and stuff like that during the anthem. But I mean, you're still part of the whole. You're a part of it now.
And he got defensive during the video. He was like, I'm paraphrasing here, but he was basically saying, you guys are coming at me in this way, but my reasons for doing so was justified because I was just simply praising God, or I was simply trying to stand up and be a leader. I'm like, if you're being a leader, then you lead by example. He preaches this all the time. Every time he goes to those little speeches, he said he wants to lead by example. How do you lead by example? By going against what you've been preaching.
Well, and then the other part of it, the other thing he said that doesn't make any sense, when you try to separate yourself from the whole thing, okay, if you're separate from the whole thing, well then why? He made the comment, these young players are doing it, and he has to meet them where they are. Well, if you're meeting with them where they are, how are you not a part of the protest?
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, to meet them where they are, you got to be protesting with them. I mean, I can't meet a drunk at a bar if I'm not at the bar. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
So I mean, it just.
And then he said, "I would be all manner during the videos. I would be all manner." Trying to make it seem
like there's some kind of confusion. Like, sir, if there's confusion, it's you.
Yeah, I find that hilarious. He was literally trying to put this spiritual twist to it. He's trying to use
God. He's trying to use God. Put all of his emotion, whatever it is, and just. Here you go, God. I did it because of you.
And Chris Carter and them, they were not really attacking him, but they was asking good questions.
Calling them out on it.
And he was like, well, I rebuke all manner of evil communications or whatever. I looked at him like, dude, you are so full of it. Like, seriously, that is something else.
He wasn't throw out scripture. And what scripture was he throwing? Well, he threw out some scripture.
He said,
love thy neighbor or something like that.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. Yeah, that has nothing to do with you taking 2 knees or a knee, whatever you were doing.
Well, and I got a scripture for him. Abstain from all appearance of evil.
Exactly.
How are you not, if you're trying to be the
Selah.
Selah moment. Right, that is a Selah moment. If you're trying to be the quote unquote leader, you're trying to be, somebody's got to lead. The thing to do would have, once again, disconnect from the whole thing altogether.
Yep.
That to me, if you're trying to show yourself to be a leader, I mean, once again, if you want to link arms or put your hand on the shoulder of whoever's taking a knee, whatever, I don't care. I personally, I don't like what they're doing, but I personally don't necessarily care that a bunch of millionaires want to take a knee. What they're doing, but you're not. You're trying to say you're showing yourself to be a leader when you're not demonstrating to me. You're not trying to show these young guys, hey, look, what you're doing isn't the best, most constructive way of bringing about the change that you want.
I mean, if you're going to be a leader, then lead by example.
Right.
If you say, hey, I'm against this, then back up what you preach. If you want to lead by example, just own up to it. Look, when I got on one knee, I realized this is a huge mistake I'm about to make.
Right.
So I switched to 2 knees. Or whatever the case is. Then you would throw in God and then throw in whatever you want to throw in. God. Right. Don't just straight up use God as a crutch. Hey, I was praying from the jump. Then why were you on 1 knee at first? See, because you're contradicting yourself now.
Right. And I'm sorry, you're Ray Lewis.
Just own up to your L, man.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, you're Ray Lewis. With those other young guys, it doesn't matter what those other young guys feel.
Right.
You are Baltimore. You are the Ravens. If you stand up every single one of them is going to stand up because of who you are.
The fact that the Ravens still consult him in terms of signing players.
Exactly.
You're still
you
Baltimore.
Made Baltimore. You were the primary player in the 2000 and in the 2011 Super Bowl, whichever one it was. Mm-hmm. You were the primary player who brought about both those Super Bowls. You were the main threat in the defense.
And he invested so much into the Baltimore community.
Exactly.
He invested
so
a lot.
if the Baltimore players, if they see you do something, they're going to do it. And the fact that you took a knee with them, how many of them actually feel emboldened now to continue to do it?
You're just aiding the situation.
Exactly.
You're not making it better. And this is, again, completely against what he's been preaching. He always saying get politics out of football.
Right.
You're not doing that by participating in stuff like this.
Yeah, you're
aiding the situation.
And here's the thing: why does he get to get a pass? Which he's not getting a pass. I mean, there's a petition that was signed by over 30,000 people to remove his statue.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But
it was 20,000 last night.
Yeah, and here's the thing: why should he get a pass if Kaepernick doesn't get to have a job? Why do you get a pass? Kaepernick took a knee and lost his job. Well, he didn't lose his job, but now he doesn't have a job in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So why does he have to not be able to play? And you think you deserve a pass? No, bruh. Yeah. You can't. Once again, as the saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Well, in Ray Lewis' case, apparently you can't.
In Ray Lewis' case, he wants to have his cake, eat it too, and get a second piece.
Yeah, apparently in his case, he can do whatever he wants because he's Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
But again, you got to look at what you've been preaching. Just back up what you preach. People look up to you. So use your platform to promote better practices in the NFL. Right. Instead of just contradicting yourself and then making yourself look like a greater idiot.
Right.
Because you're already in the spotlight already because you participated with Trump. People are calling you coons. Mm-hmm. But now you make yourself look worse. Now you look at the comments of that video. I mean, it got so bad. People, and I don't promote this.
Yeah, it's wrong what they said, but
one of the comments said that I wish, because Ray Lewis was saying, well, I pray that, that this stuff gets better and all that stuff. And in the comment section, this dude said, I pray that you get CTE. Which, again, I don't promote that. You never wish death on anybody or that type of stuff on anybody. But this is how, toxic everybody's getting towards this man. Mm-hmm. And like I said, that's not warranted, the CT comments, but the criticism is most definitely, he brought that on himself, 100%.
He's definitely falling into a line of hypocrisy.
And you could tell during the video, he was getting defensive.
Right. So the thing is,
he was getting the attitude.
And that's the thing, you knew what you did was controversial.
Right.
But
just own up to your L. Just simply say, I messed up.
The whole cooning nonsense, the questioning his blackness. I mean, me as, a black conservative, I get my blackness questioned all the time. It's like, to me, your blackness has nothing to do with your beliefs, what you your blackness has, I can't, a black cowboy from Wyoming is just as black as a brother in Harlem. So that whole,
it's all stereotypes, though.
Yeah, that whole cooning stuff is nonsense to me. But you do fall in the realm of hypocrisy with that. You are in the realm 100%. Of hypocrisy.
100%.
But speaking of the whole protest, talking about the whole protest, Donald Trump is in the news again. Shocker. Okay. So, one thing I'll say about Trump is this whole battle here, this whole protest battle, it's all part of the culture war. Trump sucks at policy, clearly. He failed at getting the wall funded. He's failed at getting Obamacare repealed. He's failed, and looks like he probably will fail on getting taxes. That's gonna, once again, as far as policy, the Republican Party is gonna have to push that if he wants to have any true success legislatively. Mm-hmm. But as far as the culture war, he has done a good job. Despite me disagreeing with what he's doing, and I don't think that some of it is very, especially the stuff with the NFL is very effective. I think he's doing a good job because he's finding these hot button issues like this anthem protest, and exposing, and he's essentially, okay, what is the majority of Americans, how do they feel about it? And he's exposing the other side, like, for instance, like with this anthem protest, he comes out and says, "Oh, these guys who are taking a knee are SOBs." Well, that's how a lot of the people in the country feel. So he comes out and says that. That's what a lot of people in the country want to say, but they don't have the platform to say it. So he forces the other side, the Democrats, he forces them to come out and say, well, you don't like us protesting? Well, we're going to take 2 knees. We're going to roll around on the ground. When he's forcing them to take the negative side that the majority of the country already sees them on. They already see them. Yeah, you're already on this negative side.
Right.
So he's forcing them to embody what they already stand for, but he's forcing them to own up to it, and he's winning. He is beating them in that.
Well, I always found that Trump, again, the way he tried to get his message out is sometimes questionable.
Right, because he's a terrible communicator.
Right. But I've always been an advocate of, the substance.
Right.
The substance of which he's trying to convey is that, hey, the NFL is corrupted in the, A, B, and C, whatever the reasons are. Like these protests, for example. He always finds a way to, again, get the message across, but people always find it to twist it.
Right.
And make it something bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
Of course, the way he delivers the message can sometimes be questionable.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the SOB comment...
Look at the message and what he's trying to say.
Yeah, the SOB comment to me was wrong because, you got to understand how many people... You're literally calling their mothers the B word, You're literally cursing. You're a son of a B, So, it's understandable why a lot of people would find that offensive, But once again...
Got a substance. Because the core of what he's saying, I look back on it, I look at him like, well, he's kind of right.
The thing of how people... definitely that I think that they're wrong in taking the knee. To me, by taking a knee during the anthem, you're literally crapping on a cherished American tradition. It's an American tradition. Stand when the anthem is being played, hand over your heart. And, we all come together in solidarity as Americans. We all, different walks of life, what have you. But we all come together under the flag, under our, listening to, under the anthem. And a lot of Americans, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. A lot of them don't like the fact that you take such a cherished American tradition and crap on it. And that's, to me, that's what Kaepernick did or started. This whole thing that's going on now has nothing to do with Kaepernick. Honestly, Kaepernick's lost in the winds now.
He's lost in the sauce.
Yeah, it's outgrown him. But I think though Trump's comments were wrong, I think he's done a good job in finding out what Americans want. Like, for instance, today he doubled down on what he said. He said NFL owners are scared of players. He said, the NFL business is going to hell. It's
if it stays down this road,
right, it's done.
Yeah.
And the success and popularity of the NBA, coming up,
it's superseding because the NBA is global.
Yeah, well, yeah, because more people play basketball than do American football. It's just American football. Once again, it's uniquely American.
Right.
But now the only thing I'll say about the NBA is they need to get a handle on their people, because you got people like LeBron James, Steph Curry,
tweeting,
Popovich. You got people getting into this whole argument, and it's like, bruh, if I were you, I'd look at this whole thing with the NFL and say, hey, look, they're going political, and they're going down. Mm-hmm. If we get political, we're going to go the same way. Mm-hmm. So if I were the NBA commish, I'd be like, look, bro, all you guys getting involved in this political stuff, cut it. Cut it. This is not what
I feel like the NBA should just learn from what the NFL is going through,
right? And
just act on it quick. Don't procrastinate. Don't waste time, because the same thing that's going on with the NFL, the same thing is going to happen to the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, the NBA they're way ahead of the whole anthem protest, because it's actually against the NBA rules.
Yeah, you have to do that.
You have to stand for the anthem. It's against the rules. So
that's what I'm saying. Just take a firm approach and just stand on that. The NFL is so free, you just do whatever you want.
Well, Roger Goodell,
and that's the problem.
Roger Goodell has two issues. Number one, he's scared, and number two, he gets into political stuff himself. Number one, he's scared because the players have a lot of power, and he doesn't want to risk alienating them. But he also doesn't want to risk alienating the owners. Then you throw in the fact that the reelected players union president is already hinting at a strike. So you've got the fear of that. Plus, he likes to wander off into the political arena himself. His father, Roger Goodell's father, was a senator or a congressman. He was one of those two. So I mean, obviously he comes from
a senator.
Yeah, so he already comes from a political background. And then back, about a year ago or so, the when Texas was going to pass their the quote unquote anti-transgender bill that would make the transgenders use the bathroom that coincides with your birth sex. Roger Goodell came out and said, "Look, if y'all do that, we're not going to give you Super Bowls. Texas is not going to get Super Bowls.
Texas is
football. I mean, I was reading an article. There was a Texas town that spent $60-70 million on a high school football stadium. High school. And you're talking about you're in a time where high school player participation rate is lower because of the whole concussion issues,
safety,
the CTE, the safety issues.
Yeah.
The only state that you have guaranteed players from is Texas. And you're going to alienate Texas.
Texas is money when it comes to football.
Right.
It's synonymous. Right?
Absolutely. I mean, come on. Jerry Jones saved the NFL. I mean, so that's Roger Goodell's problem. See, all he has to, once again, as we said before, all Roger Goodell has to do is get ahead of the politics. And players being out during the anthem altogether.
Yeah, we said this in the last episode.
Right.
Just pick a side and stand on it.
Right.
Either force them to put their hand over their heart like the NBA is doing, or just don't have them on the field. Just make it mandatory.
But you got to make a decision.
No, just stand in the middle and don't do anything. Because at this point, you're just making the league look worse than what it already is.
Yeah, you're letting it fester.
Again, you're not getting politics out of the game, which is like Trump said, if we continue down this road, the NFL is going to be done.
Right.
Yeah, that's just, like I said, I looked at that statement this morning. He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. I mean, you got to get the politics out of the game. I don't know how much. You got to keep saying it, but that's the only way to get this protest stuff.
The salvation of the NFL is to end politics in the league.
If they don't do that, it's done. It's all contingent upon what Roger Goodell is going to do.
Yeah.
If he doesn't make any decision, the league is going to just keep going downhill. I think you said it the other day that the NFL is anticipating like a record low in ratings.
Yeah. I mean, and they had a record low viewership rating
last year. Oh, last year.
Yeah, okay. And then the first 2 weeks of the season, they were down double-digit percentage points, in viewership.
This is the opening of the
right. This is the first
season.
week and the second week. Second week, I think they were down like 12% percentage points in viewership. They're in a consistent downward trend.
And it's bad
viewership.
because the season, the first few weeks of the season is normally the highest because everybody's anticipating football to come back. That's normally when ratings are at its best.
Now, granted, you have certain teams like the Dallas Cowboys and the Patriots who just command a certain amount of viewers. I mean, Tom Brady and the Dallas Cowboys are going to command a certain amount of viewership every week. So there's me and my brother had this debate. They're not suffering. It's not drastic yet. The viewership. It's not an apocalypse. It's not where everything's going to hell in a handbasket. Mm-hmm. However, you do need to be alarmed because if you continue down, once again, sports all about viewership. I mean, you're in a social media, viewership age. It's not about filling a stadium. It's about how many viewers can you get on TV, because that's how the viewers is what funds the advertisers. The advertisers how you make your money.
Yeah, and then on top of that, they're not going to really do any of that because of the optics. Right. Appearance is reality.
Exactly.
And if the appearance of the league is they so into politics and it's so much, they're always in a negative spotlight. Mm-hmm. That's going to affect your ratings, which is in turn going to affect how much money you bring in, which is in turn is going to affect the popularity of your league.
Right.
It all kind of ties in together. You got to get this stuff out, get everything out.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only, once again, as I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that is the only hope for this league is you got to stop sports is once again supposed to be the one thing that brings us all together. You have to have a water cooler society. You have to have something where we all can come together. Doesn't matter our walk of life, our background, our religion, our creed. Doesn't matter wherever it is you came from. There's got to be something that unites us. And typically, it's been sports because it's the one avenue of no politics. I mean, of course, you have your sports politics, but you don't have politics. You don't have the political arena.
Sports shows are now becoming just politics shows. Like, you're just debating politics.
Well, I mean, it's just like a guy. I can't remember who said it, but there was a guy who said, MTV used to play music videos. Now it's something else. ESPN used to talk about sports. Now they're essentially MSNBC. They're essentially
right. It's a full-fledged debate about politics. I mean, it's about sports.
It's like, why do I once again? I want to watch NFL Network, ESPN, Fox Sports 1, whatever my channel is. I want to talk about sports. I want to talk about the weekly stats. I want to talk about the players. I want to talk about possible trades.
That should be the only drama.
Right. I want to talk about our record. I want to talk about the fact that the Redskins are 2-1 and the fact that we whooped up on the Oakland Raiders. I don't want to talk about how we all had to
Good game, by the way.
Yeah, it was a great game. But I don't want to have to talk about 4 Redskins players taking a knee during the.
I'm so
game.
sick of this at this point. I'm just so tired.
Yeah. That's the only side of the Trump thing I wish because it was dying out. It was dying out, and then he said something, and now it's back.
Yeah.
That's
stronger than ever now.
Right.
And
it's like now everybody's rallied because it's like, oh no, we're not protesting the anthem. We're protesting Trump. You're protesting Trump by taking a knee during the anthem.
So you're technically
once again,
doing the anthem.
You're protesting the anthem, which had nothing to do with Trump. Trump didn't get elected because of the anthem, the flag, the way our government set up, the Constitution, or nothing like that. Trump has nothing to do with anything like that. You're protesting you're taking a knee during the anthem, disrespecting the flag because you're protesting Trump.
They can say they're doing this for Trump, but look at what you're doing.
Right, but look
you're
when
doing it during the anthem.
Right. You're doing it on
so
someone else's time.
The anthem. Period.
Right. I mean, I know me. I can't express political views. Like I couldn't go to work my job wearing a Trump shirt. I get fired. I mean, that's not part of the uniform. It's not your job to express your politics during work. That's someone else's time. On my own time, I can express whatever I want. But while I'm at work, I can't express. That's not the time. I'm providing a service for somebody else. They're paying me to do something. They're not paying me to be political. So. But that's the only thing about this whole thing that irritates me. Not the only thing, but one thing about this whole thing that irritates me is the fact that it was dying out, it was going away, and he's revived it now. It's to his benefit that he's revived it, not to ours. But if he had only just let it die,
all Roger Goodell guy has to do is make a stand, pick a side, get politics out of football, and the game will be much better.
Right.
So Roger Goodell, if you're listening, act on it. Make it happen.
Right.